First up is Hug Sleep, a Brookfield-based business. A troubled sleeper, founder Matt Mundt developed a lightweight blanket that simulates the feeling of a weighted blanket. In 2019, Mundt and his wife, Angie Cupper, appeared on ABC's Shark Tank, demonstrating the company's flagship product, Sleep Pod. And their sales exploded after the national TV appearance. Accepting the award, I believe, is Matt Mundt. Is Matt here? There he is.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the BizTimes for this special honor, and I want to recognize all the other award winners here today. All the entrepreneurs and innovators that push the boundaries, stretch the limits, and refuse to settle for the status quo. Many of the best products on the market today are based on recognizing a problem or a pain point and coming up with a solution to solve it. And my story is no different. Our company, Hug Sleep, was founded when I created a solution to my own issues with sleep. I've always struggled with falling asleep and staying asleep ever since I was a child. And when weighted blankets hit the market, I thought that maybe this could be a solution to my own issues with sleep. I purchased one and loved that initial feeling of the calming pressure, but quickly experienced the all too common list of complaints associated with weighted blankets. They trap heat like crazy and would just overheat at night. They're difficult to wash, difficult to travel with, and the list goes on and on. My background's in product design, so I'm no stranger to coming up with solutions to problems. So I thought maybe you could take this proven science behind weighted blankets, something called deep touch pressure therapy, and repackage it in a way that doesn't have these drawbacks. The idea that quickly emerged was, could you use compression instead of weight to apply that same calming pressure? I headed down to my local Jo-Ann fabric store and purchased some stretchy material along with a bunch of safety pins. I cut out a cocoon-like shape and safety pinned it together and got inside. And while it looked absolutely ridiculous, it felt great, and I thought I might have a winning product on my hands. I found a small manufacturer in Milwaukee that would sew some prototypes for me, and the rest is history. It was really that simple. My first big break was getting covered in outlets like the New York Times, BuzzFeed, and Fast Company, which sparked a wave of interest in sales. And I did all of this without spending $1 on marketing. So how did I do that? Well, sweat equity and perseverance. Hours and hours researching the names of journalists who had written about weighted blankets in the past and cold emailing them. I found out that if you send enough emails, eventually someone will respond and be interested. I took the risk of sending them early samples of my product in hopes that they would write about it, just basic blocking and tackling from the trenches. After that wave of press, I received an email from the executive producer of the television show Shark Tank. I was so convinced that this email was a scam, I didn't respond. We'd only been in business for about 2 months. Nearly a year later, and about $400,000 in sales, that same person emailed me again, this time with an offer to be on the show. I responded, letting him know that of course I'd be interested, but he would have to prove his identity, prove to me that you're legitimate. He quickly emailed me back that night with a photo of himself holding his 4 Emmys and a hand-drawn sign with our company name on it. He was in fact legit. Several months later, my wife and I were standing on set pitching the Sharks our business. We received offers from all 5 Sharks, but ended up taking a deal with Mark Cuban and Lori Greiner. A week after our episode aired, we sold over $4 million in sales and waitlist orders, which was a new Shark Tank record. In the years since our episode aired, we've doubled our sales and continue to have that same strong momentum. There's never been a better time to be a creator than today. We are living in a time with the highest rate of disruption and disorder. This unique period of chaos we find ourselves in creates opportunities. It changes the rules, it reshuffles the deck, and switches who's in the lead. My company grew exponentially when COVID hit. As a society, we were filled with anxiety, we weren't sleeping very well, and we were told not to hug each other, and yet we needed to be comforted more than ever. Sleep, and the ramifications on your health when you don't get enough of it, was all over the news. There was always a need for our product, but this period of chaos provided a gaping hole to fill in the form of sales. I've learned that there are 2 basic characteristics that may seem insignificant during recent times, but make all the difference. They are attitude and effort. I believe that attitude is the difference between success and failure, and effort is the engine that gets things done. And both are very controllable. So my concluding remarks and advice to everyone here today, whether you're a CEO trying to stay ahead of the curve, a daydreaming teenager, or a wannabe trailblazer, stop overthinking it. Stop overanalyzing it. Stop trying to predict the future and make excuses. You just need to start. Because when you start, you never know what the end might look like. Thank you.